Welcome to the Hidden Driveway Show. I'm your host, Amu, and joining me today we have a very special guest, Baby Azul. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'm Baby Azul. I'm a 22-year-old producer, rapper, engineer, extraordinaire, genius musician from Virginia. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast or interview. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it is a podcast, but I hate saying it's a podcast because I don't be like, yeah, I'm on a podcast, guys. Like, that just feels evil. So I'd say it's like a little platform. But I'm excited to do this because, like, we did the in-person one when I was in New York, which is super cool to get to do. But, like, obviously, there is a lot more to, like, you and your story than just, like, that tour. So I'm very excited to get into just, like, everything ever, all the time. But to get us started, is there anything that you'd like to talk about? Is there anything on your mind right now?
Not particularly that is, like, pertaining to music. I have been so, like, overloaded. So I think I said it in the in-person interview, but I'm gonna reiterate. The tour that I did, I booked, funded, drove the entire way. So I have been a little bit fried in coming back home. I am, like, just starting to really cool down. I'm still in the process of making sure that all the finances are squared away and that all the artists are paid out. And I'm just waiting on things to transfer over right now. But everything is good. I'm just relaxing. But that's really what I've been up to, like, in the interim.
Mm-hmm. Like, what has your, like, self-care method been, like, now that you're back?
I bought this game called Shapes 2. SHAPEZ 2. It's like Factorio. If Factorio was about shapes. Very enjoyable. I don't think automation games are actually good for you mentally, but it's how I've been choosing to spend my time. It's been very worth it. It's been incredibly worth it.
Is it kind of like, because I only know, like, Cookie Clicker. Like, that's my, like, marker in my head for it. Is it kind of like that?
So, kind of. I would say that's definitely, like, the first automation game that, like, people get into. But you have, like, Satisfactory and Factorio, which are like, huge automation games where, like, you're setting up the systems to be automated, and Shapes is one of those. But I'm starting to slow down. There's other games. I made, like, a vow to myself that when I come back, I'm gonna take, like, at least 10 days off because I very much I will keep myself working to the point of exhaustion. So I have a list of video games I want to hit, and Shapes wasn't even on there. Just Steam did an automation sale, so it was time. But I know I want to get around to Deltarune, Killer 7. I have a whole list. Deltarune, Killer 7, Disco Elysium. Fuck, there's other things I'm forgetting, but yeah.
No, I need to play Deltarune still too, because when Chapter 3 and 4 came out, I had played 1 and 2 when they were released, but on a different computer. I thought you had to have the save file still to, like, get to 3 and 4 immediately. So I was like, I don't feel like playing through the whole game right now. I'll just wait. I only found out recently that, like, you can just start with Chapter 3 and 4. So, like, I need to get on that.
Yeah. I played through Chapter 1. When Chapter 2 came out, I was like, I'm not going to play this until the full game is out. And I'm really good when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I actually didn't play it. So right before the tour, this is a couple days before, I was going to play 1 chapter a day leading up to the tour. I played through Chapter 1 and I'm like, oh wow, I'm, like, not in the mental headspace to, like, play this. So I didn't, and now I'm like, I still got 2, 3, and 4 left.
Yeah, and with, like, music, have you been on, like, I guess, like, a hiatus, like, since you've been back home, or are you, like, more motivated than ever to, like, work on stuff?
I am, like, no, I have to relax. I'm forcing myself to relax. I'm very excited to get back into music. I'm incredibly excited to get back into music because music before the tour even was so creation story centric that I wasn't, like, making beats for myself. I wasn't, like, making mells. You know, it's very nice to get back into production for production's sake or solos for solos' sake. I have, like, a rough blueprint of what I want to do moving forward, but it's not fully laid out within my mind, nor do I have, like, the building blocks to, you know, get off this call and go and do it right now. But I'm giving myself time to cool down and, like, really, like, simmer before I go around to figuring out those things.
Yeah. I think especially after what you just said, like, I feel like you kind of have to just, like, live life a little bit before you go back to do, like, your next thing. Like,
Totally. Being life on the road is so unlike anything I've done in my entire life. Really being with other people, trudging through the shit, like, really buckling down. It is like I really like Atlanta, like the show. the show Atlanta, and I used to not understand why it wasn't more music centric. Like if following Paperboy and such, you rarely ever actually get to see him recording or performing. And it is like I understand now when you were on the road, the actual performance is like 3% of your day.
Mm-hmm.
It is everything else.
Yeah, like I know when I started in New York, I think you told me that you had to drive like 6 hours to Virginia, like directly after the show. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I didn't end up getting into Virginia, like where we're staying at, until about 6:30 or 7:30.
like
So
AM.
yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shit like that.
And wasn't the show like the day after too?
Yes.
Like how? How?
I really just wanted this to happen. And, you know, I would buckle down. I had to deal with a lot of things as like, you know, they're at the end of the day, no matter how many fans are coming, these people are also paying customers. And you know, people, it's important because people have dipped into their pockets, even if they were spending $2 or $1, a couple cents. You know, these are people who purchase a product, they purchased entertainment for that time. So I will do whatever within my right to make sure that, you know, we are there, safe, on time, ready to perform, happy, healthy. You know, and I really got into that mindset that like, hey, this is significantly bigger than me. You know, people might be there for my music, they might be there for this person's music, that person's music, but like at the end of the day, these people are paying for a show, and like it's unfair if I went into one show super low energy, another show super high energy. You know, people are paying for a good experience, people are paying for a time, you know, and at the end of the day, it's taking someone's night. So I have to provide. So like in those moments where I am buckling down, I mean these boring ass long ass car drives, car rides and shit. I'm like, you know, there's a product that I'm delivering.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so impressive to me because like that was like the third show that I went to that week. And me and my friends were all like exhausted, and we were just like in the audience. Like y'all are driving and performing at all of them, and you were still like super high energy. Like I don't know how you do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to really pull it out of the void mentally. I had to I fabricate energy. Socially, I'm like Squidward. Like I I don't have it anymore. When I was younger, I used to be very like high energy. Like whenever you see me high energy moving around, like dancing and shit, I'm actively giving myself instructions mentally to do that. Because in my natural state, I'm like I'm here.
No, I get it. Yeah, but yeah, just like especially because you were the one driving, because that's also just like such like a mental toll. Like I don't know. I think it's really impressive that you were able to pull that off, and it's really exciting to see what you can do going forward. But I kind of want to look back into like the past a little bit now. So this might be a bit of like a throwback, but one of my favorite albums from 2022 was Disorient by Heartstop Miami, as it was jam-packed with a lot of high energy songs and super cool production. And my favorite from that album has always been It's Just Like That with Ken, which was actually produced by you and Dollmaker, which is how I first found out about y'all. And then fast forward later in the year, I was in my senior year of high school procrastinating on my calc homework, and I was looking at like random like archive songs on like the Virus channel because I wanted to do just like anything other than my homework. And I was looking through like Virus's like interviews to be like, who have they done? And they had like just posted one with you and Dollmaker. And even though I only knew you from that one song, I was like, let me see what's going on. So I think it's cool I'm getting to do this now also, because that was really what like I think be like invested in your work because I heard you talk for like a whole hour. I didn't even know that you rapped at the time. I only knew you for that beat, so I checked out like your other stuff from that. But it's been really cool because I feel like whether as a producer or a rapper, like you always bring so much just like energy to each thing that you work on. Because like I went through like all your like production credits like to research for this, because I knew you from like some stuff that you've done for people, but like every beat always is just like so crazy, especially with like the 808 too. Like you're always doing way more than I feel like most producers do. So how did you get into making music initially, and who are some of your biggest influences for it?
Okay, so this piece of shit Sean Wasabi made a video called Marble Soda like when I was like 10, and I saw the launch pad that he had like a custom launch pad thing, and it was a ton of colors. I was like, oh my god, making music is like a video game. I'm like this tall. So I get a launch pad, and it's not like a video game. It's like suffering. So it came with Ableton Live, and I use FL now.
Mm-hmm.
I was using it for a couple of days. I pressed a button that remapped all of the controls on the launchpad, so only like the left bottom like quadrant of buttons worked, and I gave it up. It was like, as a kid, do I troubleshoot a launchpad as an 11-year-old, or do I go downstairs and play like the Wii? So I relatively gave it up. And after that, I don't know how FL Studio came back into my life. At the time in which I got the Launchpad, I was living in San Diego, California. Then I ended up moving onto a Navy base in Virginia. And when I got back, our basement little area, damn, I'm like, I really have to actually jog my memory for this. I haven't thought about this in a while. My basement area that I was chilling in had this big ass TV, but the rest of it was a makeshift studio. So I got back into FL. I was making beats. I would have a couple of like neighborhood kids in the area come over. They'd be like, "Oh my god, you should send your beat out to the Migos." And I was like, "Dude, you're so right." Like, so I'd make this stuff. Then I was going to school on that military base. Ended up getting kicked out and went to this Christian school in Virginia. And that's like when that place sucked so much that like I started making beats way more. Like I would come back. I played more video games during that time. I made more beats during that time. I also started using Discord. And that, like, I remember Discord before it had voice call, like in a server. I could be wrong. Maybe it had voice call on a server and not on like one-on-one. But I feel like I remember when that system got integrated because I was on there before then. But I was like making meme shit, funny meme shit, and I would send it out to my friends, and either they would rap on it or they'd be like, "Oh my god, this is so funny." At the time too, I had a cousin that came to live with me for a couple of months. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm a rapper now." So I would record him, which that was my first experience ever recording, mixing, putting stuff together. And I'm for sure like the beats were shit and the 808s were out of key. But recorded him. Moving forward farther into the future, I ended up really falling into this big vaporwave rabbit hole during like 10th grade. I'll Try Living Like This by Death Dynamic Shroud was big for me. Like News at 11 was huge for me. There's a couple of other albums, Vapor Error, stuff like that from that time.
Yeah.
Floral Shop. And then in addition to me already being very immersed within that music, my first purchase I ever made on a credit card or debit card, because like that first thing that was given to me was Tidal. And I bought Tidal so I can listen to The Life of Pablo. And me as like that big, huge game changer. Musically like opened up my ears in a way in which I can like, it's very hard quantifying how different my ears were before then and after then. That felt like the first real time within my life that I ever really curated taste for what I like and what I dislike. Because growing up, I would just listen to like radio hits. So moving on from there, when I started going to public high school, I put together a rap group of a couple of rappers within my school. And one of my friends that was also living with me at the time, who wasn't a part of the rap group, but was like an older brother figure. And I ended up putting together this rap group and great foreshadowing. I ended up booking a show for us, and it was a free show in the shitty town that I like border on. And about like 70, 80 people popped out, which to get people in the bumfuck that I live in to actually go out and do something like that, huge. It was very, very big. And that concert kind of was the beginning of the end for the music group, but like it kept me going. Pandemic rolled around and I was like listening to Viper, which like now I know Viper is like flawed people, so fuck Viper, but I was listening to Viper because of the Dismiss Yourself release, and I was on call with a couple of friends and they ended up playing this video called Go Atheist Go, which was a monkey on a bar spinning around to Youngster Jack. And I was like, holy fuck, that is like the craziest music I've ever heard. Because in my very small world, like I thought I had mastered FL. I was like, holy shit, I understand it all. But like hearing that, I was like, oh my God. So I ended up going on the Dismiss Yourself server and I hit up like two people. I hit up one person, I'm like, hey, can I get Mel's? And they're like, no. And then I hit up the second person, I'm like, hey, can I get Mel's? And they're like, yes. So I end up working on that Mel and I put Portal on it, and I'm putting Portal on this thing Not to be like that guy, but I was using Portal on myself long before I think Portal became like popular, especially within like the ambient community.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a shitty beat. I just threw Portal on the melody, and I sent it back to them, and they're like, "Do you want to join my collective?" And I was like, "Yes." And that person that I hit up was Dollmaker. So that's the rundown.
Yeah, and I think it's funny they said it kind of started off as like a joke because that's been so many people. Like I feel like they start off taking it not seriously, and then they kind of learn to have like a really like real love for it, and that's when they become like properly invested. Because I think Departed said the same thing in his. Like he was making like meme rap in like middle school, and that's like how he started. Are there any more like recent influences you've had on your stuff? I'm sure especially like producer like peers as well.
So I listen to a lot of my friends. A lot. Sydney has been huge for me. Mutual Vampire, huge.
Mm-hmm.
What else has been really inspiring me? I wish that I can like pull up my playlist because growing up, like my mom listens to like Tina Marie, Rick James. No, 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 no. My dad listens to like LTD, Miles Davis, Joan, whatever the Bossa Nova artist. I always fuck up that guy's name. So I grew up listening in a really really like everything household. Like everything was on the table. So I end up just taking in as much as I can. There's very little genres that I don't have an appreciation for. I feel like it's very common for everyone to say that they listen to everything, but I grew up in a house that was like more encouraging for me to actually go like crate digging. Like most of those vinyls that I have behind me are like my parents would give me money and they're like, "Oh, find the weirdest thing you can imagine." Like
Mm-hmm.
any covers that just pop to you, send it to us and like we'll cash up you the money. Like something like that. So like a lot of days of me on my bike going to local like record shops and just picking up a ton of shit. I was in a house that encouraged me to go and venture out. So within the modern day, I feel like I just kind of pull a lot from everything that I tend to have an appreciation for. I'm not sure if I can say that there's something within the immediate that I've been having okay, wait, okay, I'm lying. I've been having a lot of appreciation for Jordy Greep's album, The New Sound. I
Mm-hmm.
have a very, very deep appreciation for that. Giant Claw's work has always been a thing, but it's starting to become more and more visible. I mean, Giant Claw's work, I think, is the most visible and inspiration off of Creation Story on the song Double Dutch. I felt like I was kind of in that bag a little bit. Who else has been inspiring? Lil B. I've been listening. That tour has been the most I've listened to Lil B than any other point of my life. Like I always knew I appreciated Little B in his music, but like I appreciate it so much more.
Yeah, because like, have you heard like God's Father?
Yes, I have.
Like that album dude, is like unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
I think it shows. I guess it kind of shows too with like Creation Story because like his music is so like fun, and that's like all that tape is like throughout.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
in terms of like, because was that collective that you joined? Was that Red Swans like that first one, or was that a little later?
Well, okay, if we really want to deep it, I've been a part of like 10 collectives. They were just all incredibly small. The
Mm,
one that Dollmaker had added me to that was like the first was a collective called Better Luck Next Time. And I know they cringe really, really hard whenever they hear that name, but that was like the first thing for me. But I had joined Heartside Miami's collective called Red Swans a little bit after Dollmaker. Yeah, that's like the other notable one that I've been a part of.
yeah, because like I saw that you were talking about like a tape for it, like in your interview. I saw like an old tweet where like it
Yeah.
seems like the album came out, but like I cannot find it anywhere, unfortunately.
Okay, I gotta word this like very lightly. Due to a dispute that is not involving me, the album couldn't release. Couldn't release. It would have had a significantly bad blowback if it did release. About a year later, I'd ended up throwing everything onto a Dropbox, and if that link still isn't accessible, I will dig for it and find it and re-release it. Because I think worst comes to worst, I end up throwing it on SoulSeek, and then it's just like for whoever wants to go out there and really
Hmm.
dig. But yeah, we were very close to a project coming out. There was a falling out between a couple of members. Wasn't involving me, but there was a falling out, and the project fell into infinite hiatus. It was pretty much done. It was pretty much done, but it couldn't be released.
Yeah, I feel like that story with like a lot of collectives though, where there's like one incident and then it just kind of falls apart. Especially like a lot of the smaller ones that weren't as like solidified. Like,
Yeah.
cause like there were like a lot of the big ones, but there's a lot of smaller ones that people kind of just like forgot about because they had like one thing and then that was it.
Yeah, it was a good time though. I feel like that was the Red Swans, in my opinion, was like the real like last hurrah of like me doing a ton of the super fast 808 switch up 808 this 808 that 808 time. So Red Swans was like real like golden era for me because sometime around the middle of Red Swans or the end of it, I was added to Silly Team, which too little too late. I would have loved to have contributed to that collective. That was moving into the scene. Silly Team was like the one that I really wanted to join because it was the most akin to my sound. But by the time I joined it, it was like if I go and continue it, I had plans to originally really revamp it. I'm like, by the time I'm done getting started, it's essentially going to be something completely different, and it's not going to pull the same crowd. And day by day, it was just losing notoriety. And I'm not even sure if it was losing. Yeah, I guess notoriety. Notoriety is the right word. It was losing notoriety day by day. And I was like, you know what? I might as well just go with some other shit.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like those collectives though were like so impactful for so many people though, especially when it comes to just like, especially fans too, like wanting to like work with their friends more and like collaborate with more people.
Yeah.
So like even though it was definitely like an era, like I feel like it was a very important era for like, a lot of people.
Super, super. I think that it came at a time where I think a lot of people viewed their sounds as so like so parallel with everyone else's sound that they were like I like, how do I put it? Now in like a redux of that time, I really do think that a lot of collectives were made because people were like, oh, I can't accrue solo motion, or they were like, okay, we're going to go and explore this sound by this collective. But like people's like willingness to see things through, unfortunately with the scene, I think is incredibly low. I think that hyperpop, digicore, and all the trickle down from there, because what we're in currently is a large trickle down from those two.
Yeah.
Artists have found themselves, and I think that given the fact that the scene was relatively in like their late stages of development, like even just from an age perspective, I think collectives were moved away from, because like, okay, now I know what I want to do as an artist, and that's not indicative of what's on the collective page.
Yeah. I know the one that I'm in, I think it wasn't like, the sound wasn't like digicore inspired like at all, but we made it because like PlanetZero after like Teen Week came out. And I think our collective page is still like, the layout is still like inspired by how PlanetZero used to be, where it had like I don't know if you remember, but it had like the bracket and like the ad of everyone like going down the list.
Yeah.
Mine, like ours is still laid out like that because of PlanetZero, so it's just funny how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess speaking of another collaborator that you've had though, because we've been talking about the story behind your creations, right? But conveniently, you also released an album recently called Creation Story with Yamamaya, who you've been working with for a very, very long time.
Very long time.
But I mean, I told you in the in-person interview too, but that is easily like my album of the year so far.
Thank you.
Because like I was introduced to both of y'all as producers initially, and like I knew that both of y'all rap too, obviously. But like I feel like with this project, it's like y'all really like do that too. Like I don't know, it's so impressive because like you keep the energy up like the entire album, like constantly switching off, and just like it's just so fun. So
I appreciate it.
I guess just how was working on that album like what was the process like start to finish of doing that?
So Creation Story was originally going to be this project of me and Yamamaya both really flexing our productive our not productive our prodding muscles. We're like, okay, we're gonna go in and we're gonna show them that we're like amazing. And we have some trickle downs from that era that found its way into the project, i.e. Delayed reaction is very indicative of what Creation Story originally was going to sound like the whole way through. It was very much this, we're throwing everything at the wall, we are really flexing our muscles. And the longer that Creation Story was made, the more we're like, okay, this is fun. When we come together and we make music, this is fun. It should feel like friends hanging out. It is, we are try-harding with this thing that like, we can put this try-hard like real effort into it. But I don't want to make music that sounds like it's supposed to impress you.
Yeah.
And I think that is unfortunately a mindset that we were in within the first 1 or 2 months of this. Is we're going to impress the listener. We're going to really state our reason and purpose for being here. And then it became okay, let's get together, let's just bullshit. Let's bullshit and then refine it from there. We're we have songs and we're going back and we're essentially like hand washing these things, these like dirty shirts until they're clean. That's how a lot of it felt. I mean, if you saw the project files, it is like Double Dutch alone has like 13 versions, not like entirely different versions, but just like we just completed it little by little by little by little, adding on this detail, taking away this detail, adding on this instrument, taking away that instrument, really refining the process. And it took us a lot longer than we expected. During that time of making Creation Story, my computer crapped out on me. Like I would press Chrome and it would genuinely take like 3 minutes for it to open. And I had no reason why that happened. And then I started having a string of getting infected with strep. And I was having bad strep, like to the point where I can record anyways. So it led to me being out the game for like months at a time. Like Creation Story, I think would have came out a lot faster if it wasn't for these things. Granted, I think these period times that we had, either due to computer issues or Yamamaya is doing something, or I'm going through some medical issue, led to us really being able to sit with what we had on our Untitled and be like, okay, wait, let's take it in this direction. Or you know what, that song is all right, but we need to change this. You know, being able to really reflect rather than we're going to keep charging forward was really, really nice. And I think that's why Creation Story came out with the level of polish that I did, is we have sat with that music longer than probably 95% of all listeners to it. I've listened to every song on there hundreds of times. Like that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, but it definitely shows though, because I feel like just the pacing and like the way it comes together is just like, I don't know. I'd say it's like nearly like perfect to me, honestly. Like that's probably one of my favorite albums like ever that just came out. Like, because I feel like it's like everything that you'd want out of like a collab project, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Because it feels very like unifying. Because like, did y'all both produce on each track?
Yes, we did. Yeah, there's some tracks that slant more heavily me, some tracks that slant more heavily them. Ruby Rushdown is way more heavily Yamamaya. Like Delayed Reaction is way more heavily me. Genesis might damn near be completely Yamamaya. I ended up going to them with a sample. And then like Working is like near 100% me. Like it is but we both put our hands in the pot for every single beat.
Mm-hmm. And was this like a setting stems thing, or was this like a parsec thing, like to work on it?
Zips. I love working with zips. Zips are amazing. I don't want people to send me mells. I don't want people to send me like loops and shit. I want people to send me zips. Like I like opening up a project file, working on it, zipping it right up, sending it back. And that's what me and Yamamaya would do, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. I have one question that's been like eating away at me since I first heard it. But does Tension sample Kevin MacLeod?
No. I have a song that samples Kevin MacLeod on my page. What is Tension sample? Tension is, there is a record label called Orange Milk Records, and they do it's ran by Giant Claw, and it's a lot of these like really heavy sound experimental things. And if I'm not wrong, it is Tension is like slice X of like 3 different songs on that off of this one album that was published by Orange Milk Records.
Okay, because I just want to show you what I thought it was, because like to me, I immediately thought that this is what it sampled, just like warped a bunch.
Okay, wait, let me.
No. Do you see it though?
Fucking imagine. I do. That's really funny. Okay, no. We troll within our beats. I don't think we would ever troll that heavily, but that's really funny. I see where you're coming from.
Because it's just like, it was so stupid. I was like, but like, it's stupid that like y'all could do that though. Like,
yeah.
I'm kind of sad that's not what the sample is. So I was like, no way. But
yeah, no. Tension is a Slice X classic.
Mm-hmm. In terms of like the additional like features you brought on, like I know you got like Chuck Salmon to do like guitar on one of the songs. He was he did like the Hilux soundtracks.
Yep.
Like how did that happen?
Okay, okay, and so Hilux 2 was always a really really big thing for me. My profile picture on Discord has been a either boss or mini boss. I haven't played the game in a very long time, so I don't remember, but one of those two from Hilux 2, and that is just like I fucking love that soundtrack. I fucking love that game. That is like top 3 or 5. Okay, no, 5 is crazy. That's top 3 games for me. Easily, ever. It is such a genius game, and I love every second of playing through it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just hit up the composer. I'm gonna see what happens. I was dealing with tour stuff at the time, so I was like, Yamamaya, do you mind doing this for me? Yamamaya hits them up. Boom, 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 boom. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna charge you. Like, let's hop on Discord and let's talk about it. And we got on like a 2 or 3 hour call with Chuck Salomon. Genuinely one of the most down to earth, coolest people there. They were at the concert in New York. Amazing guy. We performed at Chuck Salomon's house before the tour had kicked off.
Wait, that's where that was?
Okay. We did a concert in Jersey where it was DM for address, and it was at his venue space. We rocked it out. It was amazing. I would love to do that again, and I would be happy to do that again. But that would, super cool guy. And I think Chuck is going to consistently be like the card that we keep playing. Whenever I need guitar stuff or composition stuff, I'm going to Chuck. Like that's my guy. That's Yamamaya's guy. Amazing, genuinely amazing dude. It is such a blessing and an honor to collab with someone from such a game that's been so influential to my life.
Is it like surreal almost, like to be able to do that?
Dude, crazy. I'm like, after that concert, I was in Chuck Salomon's basement for 2 hours watching like YouTube poops with him. Like fucking it's wild too, because there's certain artists that I think in general are relatively smaller, but in my mind I idolize, right? This is like if we're going to talk about grand scheme, this is Giant Claw, this is Chuck Salomon, this is LA based artist named Celestephone. There's artists that I'm like, you are fucking amazing. So in my mind they end up being like these hero characters, but the interactions that I've had with all 3 of these people, incredibly down to earth, nice, humble people, like amazing music, and it's surreal, but I have to like take myself out of like this is my hero mentally mindset. So I like it's hanging out with Chuck has been this like humanizing act, but it still is ridiculous. It still feels ridiculous. It feels like a sketch comedy show, but I've learned to not deep meeting people that you idolize as much, because I would never want to put them in a position where they feel like larger than life, or like I'm a grown ass man. I don't want to make these people feel uncomfortable by me posturing my feelings towards them in a certain way. I just like I have to enjoy the space that they take up in a way that's casual, and then I can like go home and freak out about it in private.
Yeah, I understand, because like a while ago I got to interview, I don't know if you know who this is, but Orange Cake Mix is my favorite artist ever. And he's like in his 60s now, so this is like, he has nothing to do with like any of this, but it's just like, I just fuck with him a lot. And like, since then I've gotten to work on like an album like with him. So it's very surreal just being able to like, say he's like a friend and like a collaborator, when he was this guy that I looked up to for like such a long time. Did you ever have like the humanizing thing though? Cause like when we first started doing the interview, he was talking about how like, he had like a flat tire or something, and how his chest was hurting. It's just like, this is just like a guy. And I never had like thought that before that for some reason, even though like obviously like
there is like some super fans, and this is not me saying that negatively. I feel like most people say that negatively. I love anyone that loves me, or any of the performers that I brought out on the tour. But we had some like real like dedicated fans come out, and I was talking to Heartside Miami, and she had said, if they hung out with us on this tour, they would come away from that being like, they're people, they exist, they're cool. And I've thought about that. I'm like, damn, like I think that these people are like super super cool, and they're just people, and there might be cool people, but they're just people. And it is I've taken that into account to when I am talking to someone at these concerts or whatever. I'm like, for me, this is like one experience I'm having with like a ton of different fans, and such, or a ton of different appreciators, or a ton of new listeners. But like for them, this could be something that's like anthill. This could be huge. This could be huge. So I've tried to conduct myself as much, like I have to imagine like what would it be like if I was meeting someone who I thought was like cool.
Yeah. I guess more with the album because like I guess like tropes make sense because like that's just something you've worked with like for forever also. So him being on there, but then I love like Heart Charade's inclusion on the last track too, because like that feels like to be like a classic like Young Money song almost.
Yeah, that was what we were going for. Very glad that we were able to capture that so well, because that song is the first major collaboration, not the first, but I guess the first production collaboration on that album. Like it's the first and last one, because Heart Charade's also had their hand within the production of that track, while the rest of it was just me and yamamaya. But Heart Charade's really did their thing at making sure that it captured a certain vibe. Like they had sent the hook in a group chat that was made just to make that song. And me and Yamamaya heard it and we're like, holy shit, like that's it right there. Like that's what we're gonna go with. And we heard it. We heard it. We're like, we're gonna go with that. That's the last track on the album. That ends off Creation Story. We end on a bang.
He's also had like a crazy feature on recently. I'm sure it's just like timing wise, because Tributes were on production for way longer. But he was on like Kids Want to Tetchy 2 and like Heart Charade's by Lefty Cat and the Ellen's album, like and this now. So it's just like a crazy run back to back.
Yeah, that's a feature demon. Positive. I mean that positive. But
yeah, I guess one other thing I noticed with the tape was like I feel like it was like very like West Coast influenced also.
Yep. So me and Incio, or I guess under this Yamamaya, but me and Yamamaya really got into listening to certain West Coast artists, like Sugar Free. Got really into listening to E40, and to be fair, Yamamaya has had a lot more experience listening to these artists for a lot longer than I have in general. But Yamamaya really brought me into the fold on a lot of those things artistically. Like they got me hip to hi-fi, which is a subgenre of rap from West Coast, and like amazing music. And I think we've always appreciated that sort of like 90s 2000s level, like smooth with like sign leads and shit. But I can't sit here and act like Yamamaya didn't really indoctrinate me on that sound. Like I am a full West Coast supporter. But yeah, we had just like we just listened to so much like pimp rap in our free time in general. Like whether that's we find this song kind of funny, so now we're gonna replay it 200 times, or like me and Meyer are in the car together, and we're going through their extensive playlist of just fucking everything. The Young Maya has everything in a playlist. Like whatever song you want to know, they're hip. Way better than me. I like to act like I'm on the music compendium. That's really Young Maya. They are my better half when it comes to music knowledge. But that inspiration really shined through on Creation Story in a way in which I was not originally intended. Was not originally intended at all.
Yeah, and also another thing with the songs, because like a lot of your like vocal songs like prior to these were like pretty short, but like, you're doing like you're really like writing like several verses for like each song. So like how is that? 'Cause it's definitely very different than your normal stuff.
So like my quality of bars at the beginning of this and my quality of bars at the end of this, so different. Young Maya also is someone who is like they had just put so much good music in my face over the course of this project that I felt like I got way better at writing within that time. Like I feel like now I got it, and like at the beginning of this project I did not have it. Like I had some very, very weak verses that ended up being scrapped, I had verses that like I was like only one or two lines out of there are salvageable. Like off of Peer to Peer, my girl work for United, I get flights for a fraction. It's off a completely different verse. Like the beginning of Tension, the if I tell him that I need to give a fuck about what he do, so my uncle run around New York with a hammer and some tools. That comes from something completely different, and it's like I'm grabbing scraps from other things. But it was an adjustment because my solo work, I like it because other people like it. But if we're going to be entirely honest, I don't particularly listen to my own vocal music. There's certain things I'm like, okay, I did a good job there. That was like oddly, that is Comedy Night, that is Unthinkable. I'm like, okay, I did a good job. But in general, those songs were like, I was either in my car, or I was in my shower, or I was in my bed, and like I just like freestyled it to this beat, and I'm like, okay, boom, and I get up, rush through the entire song, and it's whatever. So a lot of those solo songs are kind of me throwing what feels right at the wall really, really, really fast, which leads to like these high energy songs, but they're relatively short. They're relatively, in my opinion, unfocused. And Creation Story was different because I had to come into this with oh, I'm going to be focused. Oh, like I don't have the luxury to be able to throw this down and walk away from it. Like this is something I'm going to be listening to for months, years. This is going to be defining because this is my first project.
Yeah.
So I operated with a level of quality control that I have never operated with in music at all, and definitely thanks to Yamamaya for really priming me mentally for being able to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, because I feel like Tape as a whole is like, I think it's like very listenable, while still being like experimental at the same time. Where it's like y'all aren't like trying too hard to be, but it just like inherently is, which I think is awesome.
Thank you.
Because like I think I checked it out initially because I've been listening to a bunch of like Yamamaya stuff at the time, and then I heard like Genesis, and I was like you can't start an album off that way. Like that's not fair.
Genesis is a crazy song. There is a color-based demo that someone that did on Twitter, and Genesis originally was me trying to copycat an Oswell beat. Shout out Oswell, amazing producer. But I was like, Incio, how would you go about like copying this sound with this? And then they're like, oh, you actually would never use this to recreate that. So they ended up making the first beginning to Genesis, and that Genesis was originally a solo song for me. I was going to take that beat and rap on it, and that was just going to be a me thing. And I never understood how to rap on it, so I never actually gave it a fair shot. And then we were coming around to the end of the project, or not like the exact end. We were coming around like okay, let's start wrapping up, and we're like, what's the first? And I was like, yeah, we have to go back. We have to grab Genesis because the Untapped that we had maybe 40 things in total. Like there are so many beats, so many scraps off of that album. But Genesis, I was like, we grab Genesis, we use Genesis. We grab Genesis, we use Genesis. We don't have a choice there. Like we are going to do that, and we did it.
Yeah, I guess last question about the project, like why Creation Story? Like why was that the title that you went with for it?
Okay, do you want the real or fake answer?
We can go with both.
Okay.
Maybe we start with the fake answer.
Okay, fake answer. I like the title. I thought it was pretty unique. For me and Yamamaya both grew up in relatively biblical settings. I went to Christian school for how many fucking years. Same thing with Yamamaya, and we end up having these weird parallels with our life, where like Yamamaya did this and I did this, or like we're going through the same situation. Like something happens to them at school that I'm like, oh, that same thing happened to me like 8 years ago. So it's these parallels, but I don't know why church is something that we zoned in on, especially because there is no religious things on the project. But Creation Story just felt right. It also feels vague enough to be not only fitting for the project, but also like it doesn't exactly need to invoke something biblical. Creation Story was my Fortnite username. And I thought that I was being so creative when I was renaming the Untitled. And I was like, this is Creation Story. And then I load up Fortnite like a couple days later. I'm like, fuck. This is my Fortnite username. Yeah, Creation Story is one of those that we ended up getting a name for, and then the meaning came through the longer that we ended up working on it. Because we never had a working title before Creation Story. It was it might have been Creation Story from the jump. Like Creation Story might have been the name for months and months and months. And Creation Story also ended up doubling as this like, wow, we really created this shit. And it's in our opinion, a very laser focused project.
Yeah.
Like I'm for sure if Creation Story was deleted by like the music deletion ray, and I had to go back and remake it, I could probably make a more focused project. definitely. And now that I've done it once, I'm for sure I could remake Creation Story faster. But I didn't need Creation Story to be the best. I needed it to be the first. You know, I think a lot of people want to like strike gold or like hit a rock and water comes out like immediately. I wasn't looking to do that. Not even with the tour. Like I know for a fact that like we are just doing things on such a small DIY scale that things are going to like keep ramping up. Like the ball's going to continue rolling. I just needed Creation Story to be a thing. Like I needed it to exist. I needed people like you and everyone else to be able to listen to it. So that's the meaning that I end up like acquiring over the course of having it. But that is the, if we're going to talk about the literal name origin, yeah, it's Fortnite username.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like especially recently, I think a lot of people that have been in the scene for a long time are finally putting out like their first project. Like you have like the new Camo, like Cruz, like finally putting out albums. So like I think it's really cool that like a lot of artists have like finally found their own sound and are like doing something with that finally.
The Kuru's projects are amazing. Mm-hmm. Shout out Kuru.
Yeah.
We love Kuru over here.
Yeah, so it's really hard for me to pick a favorite off that project as I like listening to the whole thing front to back, but a big highlight on the tape for me is Field Day, which is actually the first single that you reached for the project. Similar to a Field Day at school, to me, Creation Story's kind of ethos is just having fun with a friend and seeing what comes from it. So, given that, right, what are some of your favorite like school memories that you have?
I didn't end up having college experiences really, and at this point, I dropped out as of last semester. I got my associates in cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that this isn't directly pertaining to school, and if I like could rack my mind around this for longer, I'm for sure I would have better experiences. But my house ended up de facto becoming like the group hangout spot. So it was like my friends from high school would come over to my place every Friday, Saturday. They'd be over here fucking stat. Like people would leave straight from school and come over to my house. Which I haven't been able to particularly recapture that with my friends, especially my group is really fractured. I don't really talk to many people from high school anymore. And it's not like we had some long falling out. You know, people's life is just
that's how it goes.
You know, I doubt most people talk to. Yeah. This is part of the course. But being able to just hang out with my friends in general, I fucking love that as an experience. I'm for sure there's other sillier or stupid shit that I did within high school. I had this one teacher who was a English teacher who would consistently talk about how much she hated her husband, and she got divorced. And there was another kid within our whatever that used to joke about getting her number all the time, and I think he did once he graduated. Yeah, I guess that's not an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's it's a story though. It's a story.
It's a story. What's another good experience? The vice principal of the school that I went to used to originally be a teacher. She ran a home ec class, but it ended up just like becoming like a cooking competition class. Like I don't think that she particularly had an itinerary ready. But I've always, in my opinion, been very talented at cooking. So like it would end up becoming like, hey, I have this budget to do this cooking competition, or do y'all want to have Azul cook for us? So the class would be like, I cook and I would just get a 100.
That's
like,
awesome.
She was like, every time you cook, I will just give you a 100. So I would just be prepping food for everyone. And even now I still love providing for people. So being able to just like cook food, get like make people happy, you know, say jokes that make people laugh or like entertain, you know, do a fucking entire international tour. Like that working has always been just like encoded within me.
Mm-hmm. And like, did your school have like field day? Was that something you had growing up?
Not particularly. We would have field trips, you know, where we'd go here or there. In Christian school, we once a year would all go to like this camp, which low-key was kind of fun. Low-key, I'm not gonna lie, it was low-key fun because it was so like not Bible centric. It was like, oh, we're gonna go ziplining here. We're gonna go into this big ass river here. Like that part of it was very, very fun. There was a kid that originally was in this Christian school, and I know him. By the time I got in, he was out, but he was like a legend because he had brought a handle of Tito's with him to Christian camp, and they ended up catching him and then expelling him. But shout out that guy. Bringing Tito's to the Christian function is fire. That's not my only experience with alcohol related things in that Christian school though. Another person that ended up bringing in like Jack Daniels and like rum and coke, but I guess Jack and Coke in a aluminum can, and ended up giving this girl like 2 or 3 sips of it. Like I was in a science class when she had this, and she got up and stumbled and fell and like knocked into people.
Like
And
immediately.
she was like acting like she was like acting like she was drunk. She was like, "Oh my god," and they both got expelled.
I know my school had field day, not for like long, but did your school ever have like AR points? Do you know what that is?
No,
No, maybe this is like a Texas
What-
thing.
what is
but
that?
it was like you would read books and then you take these like online tests on them, and you get points. And my school had this system where you would get these little like badges on how many points that you had, and then you could like cash in those badges at like field day. But their system for cashing them in was they would just put they'd like get like a Sharpie and like right on the back of it, but you could smudge it off super easily. So like I think I had like 40 of them, which is like a lot. And I would just give them to my friends and reuse ones that I already used on stuff, so they could do like whatever the whole day.
funny. No, niggas used to shoot dice in my computer science class. We didn't have no shit like that. Like we ain't ever have that.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, people. Yeah. Not my school wasn't like trashy or something. It was just I don't think we were central enough to anywhere in Virginia with money. So we'd go to our football games for free. That was nice. That's like really it.
Yeah. And with Field Day the song, like I'd only ever heard the album version. I heard the single version recently. I didn't realize that's what like the Morse code beeping was. Like I didn't realize.
Yeah, okay. Is it time to address that? Okay. So yeah, so when we were making the project, I was like, Field Day was originally not on the project. Field Day would have been supplemented by a song that has now been scrapped, but in adding that song to the album, I decided that, you know what, not only is it a relatively edgy line, but also I'm like, if this is going to be our like first big body of work, I don't want something to like be marring of the image for that album. And granted, I have learned over the course of the tour that is a fan favorite line. Which New York, it was displayed very loud and proud. I've never said it on a stage, and I mean, to clarify, it is something that I can claim.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a word that I cannot claim.
Yeah.
But also, in addition to having Chuck Salamone on the project, I was like, I don't want someone to make the fucking Twitter thread of Chuck Salamone supports this. I'm like, I don't want to put down other people's public image because I just want one edgy line to fly. So the Morse code that ends up meaning nothing because that Morse code does not translate. But yeah, I had used that as a replacement for that line because I didn't think it was right to go and re-record something else.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think that it is enough mystique on the Morse code beeping that like I've seen people who are like, I wonder what that actually says, go and actually like look around for the answer and then they find it. I have seen a re-upload of that song with the line. Like it exists out there. I'm glad that it exists out there. I don't particularly think it's something that I can't stand behind, but I'm like as a project, I will play riskier cards in the future. I'm like, I need this first one to go off smoothly.
Yeah. I think it almost works better with the Morse code, especially as like an additional like melodical like element too.
Yeah.
It's just like a cool part of the song.
I knew it was an issue because I was doing concerts in Montreal before the tour, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to say this line. I would get up on stage, I'm like, yo, if I say this, I'm about to kill this crowd. Like, if I say this, people are going to look around like I'm fucked up. And I realized then, because shout out Enzo. I was giving Enzo helped us significantly helped us on the Canadian leg of the tour. But I was giving Enzo like versions where it was actual silence for that line. And I'm like, okay, something has to give because I can't go on this tour and say this. Like that line is not going to play well in venues either. And granted, played well with the crowd. But when I'm running a show, you know, I can't do something that's going to jeopardize the show, and I feel like playing that line jeopardizes the show. And even like Heartstop Miami had pulled me aside when the tour started. And she was like, "Don't say it." I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, I think you made the right move with the.
I think so too.
Yeah, moving on though. So when most of the scenes moved past the digicore sound, we kind of talked this earlier too, but I think one of the most longest lasting like impacts of it was all the collectives that formed, which to this day have helped inspire people to like work with other artists more. And there were some of the bigger ones like Nova Gang, Gravemind, and Soy Team, which you were actually a part of, as we talked about earlier. And the collective that was always most inspirational to me was PlanetZero, which had been like dormant since 2021, but like all the artists were still friends and like worked together. It's like it never really like stopped being like a thing, but just like under the PlanetZero name, I guess. I bring this up though because in November of last year, I looked back at the page to like listen to like an old favorite of mine off there, and then I noticed there was a new profile picture. All the covers were different, and then there was a new roster too because now yamamaya, Departed, and also now like Walkstar Shouty, I saw got added too. We're all like added to the roster, so clearly y'all are plotting something right now.
Yes.
This didn't really come as a surprise to me though that you were in there because you've had a lot of collaborations with other PlanetZero members like Heartstop Miami and Tropes over the years. I think it's a bit of an underrated pick, but I think one of my favorite songs that you've done with Tropes is Our Minds Soar off of Aromantic, which
Yeah.
that song has always felt very like pensive and like dreamy to me. I think also because like I don't know why, but I listened to that song like a lot when I would shower, like when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like it just like chill me out. I'd be like deep in thought. So as I'm sure you know, our imaginations are such an important part of our creative process. So given that song's title, what are some things that you like daydream about? You just let your mind wander.
Well, a lot of video games. There's a video game called Critters for Sale that I end up thinking about every other day. Future plans. Coming to this tour, I understood that there wasn't mistakes on making sure that these concerts happen, but there was things that needed to get rectified or like altered. And I have 13 pages worth of notes of things I would change.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am in my mind a lot figuring things out. I'm consistently thinking about how to change around things that I have going, make things more efficient. Oh my God, do I love good graphic design? I'm a graphic design nerd. Bad. And I don't even think I'd showcase it as much as I could have for this creation story rollout. But I know when I have personal projects, like I have ideas for posters, I have ideas for covers that like I am itching to have people see. I'm itching to also like throw some of my design philosophy into the things that we have plotted for PlanetZero, which I don't have the luxury to truly speak about in full candidness within the moment. But what else? I like interior design a lot. I think about that. A good apartment is a life changer.
I feel like your room is pretty like decked out too, if that makes sense.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I actually think my room is pretty bare bones. I appreciate the bare bonesness of my room. I kind of like things being hotel clean. Even though I never particularly achieve it in the way that I'd like to, but it doesn't bother me as long as like it's not gross. Like I'm fine.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself like thinking about like working on music when you're doing something else? Because that's like a big thing for me.
I will be like, I want to work on music. I think that there's some people that like they hear a sample and they know what it's going to sound like when they're done. I've never been someone that's like and that's something that I kind of envy about like some of my collaborators is that they hear a sample and they're like, the way in which they hear it in their mind is exactly how it's going to come out whenever. Like I hear things and I'm like, okay, now it's time to hop in the lab with this. Like I never exactly have like a mental precursor or to like what a beat is going to sound like. But no, I will specifically. I hear a lot of samples, and I'm like, if I'm out, I'll use Shazam because Shazam will pull up everything like saved, and then I'll go back to my Shazam, and then I'll use it later, or like I'll hear it somewhere, and I'll be like, okay, it's time to go cook. And like I've headed home from functions that I wasn't particularly like passionate about just because I heard something really really good.
Yeah. I know you can't speak out on much, but like, I guess like what made you want to like go back to PlanetZero as like an idea?
I can't sit here and act as if this was something that like I'm a major authority on, because PlanetZero really has had a second wind of life from Hearts on Miami and from Tropes. I am just like, I love those two to death. I would die for either of them. And if they're like, we're bringing PZ back, like we're PZ, we're gonna be doing things. I'm fucking I'm there. I'm there. I'm doing it with them. I am their biggest supporter and cheerleader. As so are they are mine. So whatever they want to do, I'm there. I was not a part of any of the mental masterminding behind those decisions. But I will support them through and through.
Yeah, because like I think I noticed it because like Miami used like the PZ tag and like Black Widow. I think that was the first time in like years, and like that's kind of when it started. I feel like
the PZ tags are coming back. They're definitely in a very very big way. If the project was made a little bit later, if Creation Story was made a little bit later, I am very convinced that it would have had an updated PZ logo somewhere on the cover art.
Yeah, that's something I'm very excited about. What do I daydream about? I think going to New York, like for that whole like last week that I was there, was like something fucking months I was thinking about. So that was a big thing. I'm sure for you too, like thinking about tour like ahead of time also. Just imagine like what it could be like.
Yeah. It started feeling unreal. Like that last month, like time kept marching forward, and I'm like, I didn't even register it. Like those last 2-3 weeks, I didn't take in really the gravity of what I was doing. And I still feel like it hasn't exactly set in, because I've been in this very, we have to work, we have to go, we have to drive, I have to book this hotel, I have to get this late checkout, that I haven't actually been able to like really sit and think about it. But the closer that we got, it was just fucking, it was like, what a time. Super unreal. Super, super unreal.
I should speak more on that. So we're talking about PlanetZero, and right before Creation Story dropped, you actually, well, I think it was supposed to be later, but then the album got like delayed by a few days because like distribution issues.
Yeah.
But right before the album dropped, you announced that on top of the album, you're going to be doing a tour in July with the PZ crew as well at Saturn and Mental. And to me, this is like legendary because most of these artists rarely play shows. And if they do, it's like a one-off thing. So if you aren't from like Cali or like New York or like Florida, for example, like you really like can't see them ever. Yeah, and your tour, though, spanned several major cities such as Chicago, Montreal, and Atlanta, as well as a New York show that I was thankfully able to catch due to already being there for a different show that week. And getting to go to that show was really like a dream come true for me because I've been fans of all of y'all for like years. You know, see all of y'all like at once was a really cool experience. And I was fortunate to be able to talk to you and Yamamaya to do like a quick little interview while we were there about like your thoughts on tour. But, you know, you're home, you've had time to think about it. But like, I know I keep saying it, but I've talked to a lot of artists in here about like live performances and how they get those set up. But, like doing a whole tour is like a completely new level, especially because it was all like fully funded by you. You who were driving the tour bus around everywhere. Like that's like as DIY as it gets. So like in terms of getting the tour set up, like how does that even work? Because like I know a lot of people probably want to do something similar to that now that they've kind of seen that it's like possible.
So like, are we starting from like zero?
From zero, yeah.
Okay, so because now like it being like a freelance booking agent is basically my job now. So the goal is that you're going to want people who two things are either have a very very large history of live circuit of doing live circuits, like a very very large backlog, and they can prove that they have people who are going to pull up, or number two, you have to get people who have demand. Fortunately, all of the people on the tour are people who I would consider mentally who had demand. I will be transparent in the fact that going into the beginning of the tour or even at the middle, there was ideas of other picks or adding people on or subbing some people out. That fortunately didn't happen. I'm very very glad with the group that we had. The second thing after you pick either yourself or a group to tour with, you have to figure out where are you going to secure money. I was this was just my first time booking a tour. This was also my first time booking anything in general. I didn't get a sponsor. I should have devoted time within the very beginnings of this. I started booking on February the 16th. I should have spent time getting a sponsor. I did not. You are going to want to stack money because there are expenses that you don't think about. So that is venue, venue rental, that is your mode of transportation, which hopefully should be a van, because if we had done flights, this tour would have been fucked up. Hotels. Those are going to be your three things. Then you're going to want money for gas, and you're going to want fuck, I forgot. Fuck.
Food.
Oh, I had it. Food. Yes. Yeah. Perfect. You're going to want money for food. Those are your 5 expenses. And then on top of that, in a perfect world, you would have emergency stuff. Now, let's say you have the funding that you believe that you need. You have the artist. You go onto booking. If you do not have a connection, you're going to have to cold email people. People are just not going to get back to you. In a lot of these cities, the venue that got back to me, it was the one option that I had. So you are going to want to hit up these people. You're going to want to make it's super accessible to access the artist that you're going with page. Be like, hey, I'm blah blah blah, I'm doing blah blah blah, here's all the artists that we want to get. And then you begin negotiations, which are negotiating for venue price. They are going to highball you, try and get them down. There's a couple of tips I've learned. 18 plus shows cost significantly less because they're expecting bar sales. All ages shows usually cost more, or not usually, they always cost more, because it is more of a liability that the venue's taking on. Also, minors aren't buying drinks. The venue MO is going to be how many people can we get to drink. So after you purchase that, you have an optional little thing of either you can sign these concerts in your name, or you can put them under an LLC. Making it LLC is super accessible. I recommend it so that if something was to fall back onto you legally, it goes back on an LLC. You can chapter 13 it, or that might not be the right chapter, but whatever. You can chapter 13 it. So you have it booked, you have all of these things lined up. You want to get your van. If you're 25 plus, I would say go off of a rental service, something like an Enterprise or a Hertz. If you're under 25, go off of an app called Turo. That is what I did. Turo. It is essentially Airbnb but for cars. Super accessible. If you are over the age of 21, you are allowed to drive a Turo, whatever. You can, depending on what van you rent, you're able to add on as many drivers as you want. As long as they all have valid licenses. Perfect. Okay. Food is you're just it's fucked. Food is fucked. Either you're going to be having sit downs, they're going to cost a lot of money, or you're going to be doing fast food. You're going to want to juggle these two, because at the end of the day, you're min-maxing morale. You're doing how little can I spend on money and make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be high moments. There's going to be low moments. So let's say you have all 5 of those things figured out. You have your routing. You have all of your booking. You're going to want to do as much marketing as you can. Guerrilla marketing matters. That is putting up posters in shops, whatever that is. Because your goal is that you will be playing to fans out of because why wouldn't you? But
Yeah,
you
I saw you're posting on
play to new
subreddits too.
listeners.
I saw that.
Yeah. You want to be playing to new listeners, and that's a portion where I fucked up during the tour. Is that the tour I feel like catered way more towards fans than reeling in new people.
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is going to be reeling in new people. Going even a $5 increase in price significantly bars the amount of people that can go to your tours. This is a working price as of right now. The last tour was $20 online, $25 at door. I think moving forward, what I'm going to do is $10 online, $15 at door. If you come with a student ID, it gets discounted $5. Because, and now we move on to it, your goal is to put as many eyes onto merch as possible. That is your highest profit conversions is going to be merch. Let's say you get 100 CDs for $250. Every CD is being sold at $25. You know, you are waxing profit clean. Posters, for example, I paid under $300 for 300 posters. Every poster is $15. You know, make your merch accessible in price. Also, don't price yourself too low. There is a commonality with low prices and cheapness. You want to make people feel like they're coming in at a fair deal, because you are offering a fair deal, but you don't want to make things too low, because people will find reasons for things to be luxury. When people look at a Gucci shirt, if a Gucci sold you a shirt for 50, you would be looking at where they cut corners. If they sold you a shirt at 500, you'd be like, oh my god, this is like so quality. It's made in Italy, whatever. So you have all of those put together. You want to ensure that all of your artists are all going to a common meeting point. You're going to want to be there either 1 or 2 days before. That for us was Chicago. I drove through. We met with everyone you want to get on the move. If you do not have a driver, which realistically you won't, because it costs so much fucking money to get a driver. It was something that we had looked into. It was not economical. I can boss up on drives. I have a long history of doing incredibly long drives in my Nissan Altima. Get multiple drivers and do rotations. The person who was on merch, amazing person, named Autumn. Their at is Kill Me Autumn. I would have them on sleep detail. I'd get in the car, I'd be like, Autumn, go to sleep. And they would do that. I would wake them up. They would drive 2.5 hours. They'd be like, okay, I'm getting tired. Let's swap back. And I was doing the majority of the driving, which it was never Autumn's job to drive in general. That was a courtesy upon her part. So I deeply appreciate it. But that wasn't you're going to want to make sure that when you're onboarding people, that they understand that Autumn was both doing merch and both doing driving. You want to make sure that people understand their roles, because at the end of your tour, you're going to want to worry about payment. There's a couple of ways that you can do things. I am coming into this tour at a loss, and I understand that. I know what to do next time, and realistically, the payout is going to be more rigid. I'm not going to directly say what it is. You are going to want, if you are organizing this and you're putting all the money behind it, you are going to want to take a bigger cut, because in general, you want to take a bigger cut to reinvest. If you give people the mindset that the majority of the money that they're going to be making is off of merch, especially if you're not taking a percentage cut of merch, which as an organizer, it puts you in a bad way to be taking a percentage off of merch, unless you are a label, or unless you were the one that manufactured the merch, or you pay the money for the merch to be manufactured. You should never take a percentage off of your artist merch. That's a bad move. That creates a lot of bad blood. You want to make sure that off the ticket sales, you are coming in with you're getting the biggest cash out, because you want to keep things scaling. In a perfect world, your tour would allot you more funds or more time or more fans to be able to spin back and do it bigger. I probably am not covering a ton of minutia, and that's an incredibly simple crash course. But that is hotels. My bad, hotels. So hotels, you can stagger them, which is what I did. I would book a hotel, understanding that I wouldn't get into that hotel until that morning. For example, Toronto, we didn't get into the Toronto hotel until maybe about 5-6 a.m. Our checkout was at 11. Most hotels have a free membership program, which is essentially you just putting down your email for them to be able to fucking sell your email data legally. We had stayed at IHG hotels. Their latest checkout is at 2 p.m. If you go up to them and you ask for a late checkout, we had one experience where someone said, no, we can only do 1 p.m. Most hotels, given that you're a member, and also given the fact that you're pulling in so many people, if it was me alone in one hotel room, they'd be like, oh, okay. But every time that I was booking for 8 people. So they are going to prioritize you because you're a member and you're bringing in so much business that they're like, okay, you get a late checkout. You should always allot a late checkout. Morale is directly related to sleep and food. You are going to want to allot your artists as much sleep as they can get. You're going to want to allot them as much high quality and cheap food that you can get. Whether this means making sure that they all hit Cookout, because the group that I was touring with really wanted to go to Cookout. It's shitty food, but it's cheap, and they wanted that. You do that. That's how you bend the knee. I didn't want Cookout, but fuck it, we're there. That's what everyone else wanted. I'm not going to overrule something as simple as that. Or you're going to want to scope out a city before you even get there. Reddit is amazing. Get recommendations on what's good food in the area, what's good local food. Bring them all there after a concert. The thing that you're going to have to manage, though, is that if you are driving or you have other people driving, doing a sit down is going to cause more time to be spent at the beginning. So your drive is going to shift to later. You're gonna have to make sure that you're up for that drive if you have them eating in the first spot. Or you have them eating at a sit down, or alternatively, you can drive, go and get fast food. Fast food you should always view as keeping morale the exact same or very slightly lowering it. People just like sit down foods. People just like family style shit. That is normal. That's human. But that is how you should deal with that. So yeah, I'm probably skipping over a trillion other details, but that's the crash course.
The thing, 'cause that was super informative because like I was talking to Bappy about it, if you know, and we were just like, it's just so incredibly impressive because it was all just like done by exclusively you. Like I'm sure there's a lot of mistakes made along the way, but it's like it seemed like it went pretty smoothly for the most part.
Incredibly so. I was very blessed for things to happen as smoothly as they did. I one of my biggest fears wasn't even that I had managed something wrong. It was like some asshole can merge and like T-bone this van, and then we're uber fucked. Granted, I'd spent a lot of money on getting insurance, so I wasn't worried about like being fucked in that sort of way. But I'm just like, how am I going to transport 8 different people, 8 including myself, 8 different people all with merch to these different locations around the U.S. if I get into a car accident? So it's me being uber vigilant and making sure that I am well rested. It's me sneaking in these small 10-15 minute naps at concerts and shit even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think was your biggest like success and maybe like I guess like mistake I think you could do better for next time, like from the tour that you've learned?
Biggest success was merch. I think our merch was just priced right. I know in the future now that stickers do not sell nearly as well. I will be realistically in the future giving out stickers for free with the purchase just to incentivize purchase. Next time around when it comes to merch too, I also want to do a bundle because the CD, the poster, and CD poster, t-shirt, the t-shirt together is $65. I think moving forward, I want to make a bundle that would make all 3 of those items become 50 plus you get a free sticker. I think that merch worked out incredibly well for us, though. We priced it right. It was quality enough. I think people were able to see it. People liked it. And who knows, maybe there might have been some prioritization because it is the Creation Story tour that is Creation Story merch. But I do think that it was presented in such a way to where it inclined even people who weren't particularly me or Yamamaya listeners to gravitate towards there. My biggest failing was the ticket price. The ticket price was just too high. I am very lax when it comes to spending for a concert or whatever. I didn't consider the fact that this would box out people who, number 1, aren't as passionate, number 2, are traveling from a long distance, or number 3, are just new. And there's things I'm going to do in the future to grab onto new crowds and new audiences, because the more that we have, I went to that concert and that was dope, I would do that again. That leads into people coming back. That leads into repeat. I hate the word customer here, but if I'm going to be thinking about someone who's purchasing a show, that is going to lead to repeat, to a repeated crowd. A lot of people were like, when are you doing this again? When are you doing this again? And doing right by people like that is going to ensure that people come back. I just need to make sure that it's at a price to where it is reasonable for someone who is not already invested to come in and get invested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the merch shows were great because like I think me and all my friends got something. Like I got one of Departed's like sweaters. I know there was like another booth that had like I don't know what it was called, the stuff that was drawn on like the clothes. Like my friends got a bunch of those.
Yeah. I
also liked how you did the open merch table so you could like apply to be on them, because like my friend got to vend because of that.
Yeah, of course. Next time around, I think just to make sure that we are recouping all costs, I think I will be selling merch tables. But the thing is that I think I will be selling it at a heavy discount, because even during the course of the store, I was incredibly harsh with who did and who didn't get a merch table, because a lot of people hit me up that were like, "Oh, dude, my kid makes lemonade," and it's like, okay, or like they're like, "I make jerk chicken," and it's like, oh, like that doesn't fit, or it's like, there was someone who does like penis vases that wanted to be there in Richmond, Virginia, and I was like, this is an all ages show. Like, I get that this is supposed to be a body positive thing, but like, that is a penis.
Yeah,
that is a dick. Like, like no. So next time around, I do think I will be selling merch tables, but I think they will be at a heavily decreased price, because I need to make sure that people that are applying for this actually fit the whatever. I also feel like I don't if a merchant is buying a vendor table, I need to make sure that it's actually like they're not buying this just to give me money. Like they really have a possibility of making like 5 times what they put into this. I would make sure that the tables are only 2 digits max. I wouldn't charge three digits for a table because people have to recoup their costs. They have to recoup the cost of the table itself, and then the transportation, and then the whatever the hell they're selling. But yeah, I think I enjoyed having merch being an open thing this tour. I got to see and work with and actively collaborate with a ton of really cool people, and a ton of really dope ass people ended up hitting my message request, and either it worked or it didn't work for different whatever. Yeah, it's an amazing time. An amazing time collaborating with all of these different people that all made this cool shit, because I feel like all I do is music and cooking. So like talking to people who make clothes or CDs or cassettes or fucking, it's just cool. It's just cool because it's stuff that I don't do.
Yeah. In terms of picking like who the openers were like for each show, like how did that work? Because I'm sure there's like a lot of people you could have picked like to do those.
So the goal is thinking about who is the closest with the most motion that fits our audience, which is the way that you should always book openers. Is who do I have to cover less travel on, who has motion either locally or online, enough online to where it converts to in person, who fits, who is cohesive with our audience, who isn't going to be bringing in an audience that's like, oh, I'm just there for the opener. They see the opener and they immediately bounce. This time around, I mainly picked people who I am friends with. There are some people who were a part of the tour that this was my first time ever meeting them, or like, you know, the tour being announced was my first time ever really talking to them. But all of the openers were very nice, super sweet people, even if I wasn't particularly close with them. Or a lot of the openers like I wasn't close to, but like maybe someone else on the tour was close to, or like I wasn't close to, but one of the openers had hit up another member of the tour to come along. I think really solid openers though. I think for a first tour, I've been very happy at who performed alongside us, and shout out to fucking all the openers. Holy shit, these concerts wouldn't be nearly as successful without y'all being there and without y'all doing y'all shit and killing y'all sets, and y'all prime the stage, y'all prime the crowd to keep the night moving. And my only job when I'm at a concert or when I'm booking one of these concerts is to make sure that this whole thing doesn't go belly up like the Titanic. So having people that are on their shit matters. And in addition, thank you to everyone that was associated with the tour for also make sure the boat kept sailing.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't ZOK supposed to be like open for the New York show, and then you just like wasn't allowed to? Like that's what I heard.
Yes, I was really damn close. It didn't work. It was out of my control. There's nothing I could have done there. I did extensive due diligence. One day I will get Zay and Gunk to perform together. That will happen. I will be the one that organizes that. Hopefully we can get that at Tour 2. I know, big announcement, Tour 2. Hopefully I can get that at Tour 2. No promises, because I got really damn close. Really damn close. I'm very disappointed about that.
Cause he told me in his interview that like he's supposed to have been done like 3 shows by now, and like none of them panned out for stuff like out of his control. So like it'll happen someday, but
yep.
No, I was so bummed though, because he told me that, and like all my friends like love his stuff and Gunk's, and they were so bummed when they found out that like he was supposed to be there and like couldn't.
I know. I'm knowing.
Yeah.
I'm very much knowing. Yeah, I'm gonna keep working at that. But it is a very irrational decisions were made out of me and Zay's control. I love Zay to death though, and I will get them out there very soon whenever the powers that be can let me.
Yeah. For everyone that could perform though, like I thought y'all were really good with like controlling the crowd. That was like the main thing I noticed.
Thank you.
Cause like my friends are all like newer at performing. So like I'd gone to their show, and then like seeing like the comparison from like what we're all doing to like what y'all are doing was like this is like what we could be in the future kind of thing.
I'm copying Heartside Miami like bad. Like she is such a solid performer. Holy fuck. Like I'm like taking in her performance and I'm just like copycatting like her movements and shit. And I don't know like her heart like naturally like produces caffeine. Like I don't know. I don't have a 100th of the energy that she has or that she's able to bring to the table. But like holy fuck, I'll try. I'll try.
Hmm.
I love her to death. That really is my like blood sister. But yeah, I'm just copying what Hearts on Miami does. Yeah, I'm trying to hold it down whenever I'm on stage. You know, we had fortunately the New York crowd was so responsive. We had other crowds that weren't as responsive, or that were a little bit more like aura farmy. Like I'm afraid that there's a camera out, so I'm not going to get active. But overall, the tour was the people on the tour were very good at cutting loose and enjoying themselves, which I enjoyed because sometimes I think it is just bad luck of the draw when it comes to a crowd.
Yeah. No, everyone was so open, like especially with like all the pits. Like there were so many, like during the one that I went to.
New York had most like pit stuff that like out of anything. I think New York is way more accustomed to like mosh pitting sort of stuff. We had something like that happen semi in Pittsburgh. We had something like that semi happen in Miami. But New York was really like the Red Sea parting ass like mosh
For
pits.
Genesis,
Super
yeah,
enjoyable.
that was crazy.
Super enjoyable getting down during tension and just fucking like knocking into people and I was at the outskirts making sure to like pull people up on stage, but I have never been so out of breath in my entire life. Like that was the wake up call that like I still have more weight to lose.
Yeah, y'all put on a great show. And another one of the artists that you toured
Thank
with was
you.
Departed, who played a very important role during each show as the DJ slash like sound person during each person's set. And it was also cool getting to meet him in person because like I interviewed him. I interviewed him on here like a while ago, so
Yeah.
that was super cool too. And because of this, I'd actually like to ask you a question that I asked him during his interview as well. Because now that tour is over, you just finished like a period of your life that I'm sure you're gonna cherish like forever, right? So given that like to depart means you're leaving something, which you would have done a lot during tours as well, especially just like traveling to each state and Canada as well. So what are some things that you miss, just like in general, whether it's like a specific thing, like a time of your life, like a person, whatever?
Yo, I miss Saturn. Saturn is the fucking homie. Yo, Saturn was like the patron saint of that tour because all of us had like all of us have hung out in person before. Saturn was new to the group and they just fell in like a fucking puzzle piece. Like shout out to them for just like making my job as an organizer super easy because you know I think that there was hesitation on both sides where it's like we don't really know what to expect. You know, Saturday's really going out on a limb by even coming along with us. And they just were on their shit. Like they just made life easy for me. That is bro. If someone was to sentence me to like a year of solitary confinement in a room with Saturn, like I would thoroughly enjoy my time. Like holy fuck. I always miss hanging out with Miami and hanging out with tropes. I do that forever. Same thing with Yamamaya. Mental is so sweet. I love Mental to death. I think the thing is that it's nice hanging out with your friends all day, even if you are kind of trudging through the shit that is like touring and being on the road and like that road life. I miss it. Like those are my family. Those are my brothers and those are my sisters. Like I departed autumn. Like I miss it. 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 I'm very excited to do this next year. People were getting emotional when we were leaving, but I think like all of that was I think people were a little bit too macho to do that in front of other people. I'm for sure that people have cried about it in private, which I think is human. I love everyone that I was on tour with. I wouldn't want that group to change. I know next time that I do it, I will want the same people. The next time I do it, there's a chance of me adding on one more artist though that I can't announce within the moment because I haven't even ran it by them.
But you just want on there really
But
bad.
there was a time in which the spot that Saturn took up as a closer was open because it was someone before Saturn, and then it was open, and then we had reached out to this person, and just off of associations, I think some people will do theory crafting on who this person is. but Saturn and this other person on the lineup, Jesus, they would both kill it like that. I don't even think they particularly have music together, but they are both really solid dudes, and would have people come out like far and wide for both of them. And the person who I'm talking about, I don't think gets booked a lot. Like they were booked for if I'm not wrong, both Fiona's World sets. But I don't think he's really been booked that much since. And I want to get him up at that house. I think that's the way in which I'm viewing a lot of this too. Is I need to be the organizer that like shakes people out of their house and pulls them into these crazy ass cool experiences where like we both get to it's mutually beneficial. We're seeing fans, we're making money, we're hanging out, we're having fun. But getting these real people where it's like if it's not for someone like Master Hand from Smash pulling them out of their house, like the chances of them going out and just doing a show are very, very low.
Yeah, especially because like you have to like apply yourself to get on a bill. So it's like if someone comes to you being like, "Do you want to be on?" It's just way easier.
Yeah. Which is what I wanted to do for Zay, but it's what I ended up doing for a lot of the openers that I don't think particularly do shows all that often. I.e. like Waxar Shoddy or like one Mave. For example, like just getting these people to come out and getting these people to do cool shit. Like I'm gonna shake up like people who like people like Only, for example, in Atlanta. I wanted to see Only so fucking bad. I will be super honest with you. Only and Javi being a part of the Atlanta lineup was purely selfish. I wanted to see them perform. Those are artists that I like. I was like, no, y'all are coming out. Y'all are in the area. You're coming out. You don't have an option.
That's so real though. I think it was just very special, especially like going to the New York show and like seeing people from like the scene that I recognize that were just like in the audience. Like I saw like Dollmaker was there. It's just like these are all just like friends coming together. It was super cool.
Yeah. I want to make the next tour be like friends and fans and new listeners. I want it to be less of friends and fans. Not that I hate that, but it's these things need to continue scaling up, and they won't scale up without us onboarding new people. I hate the really corporate speak that I've gotten into. But
like it is like a business decision though. Like at the end of the day,
yeah. I've been the email demon recently. But it's we need to have our sound be displayed to new people. So the goal is to get as many new listeners captivated, enjoying themselves, having a great time, bringing in more people, and having that trickle down over time.
Was there anything you think was the most like effective with that? Like I assume it'd be like Florida because like Quinn opened, right? Just having like new people come out.
Quinn opened in Atlanta. Honestly,
okay.
Every concert was new people, to be fair. Like I had people come up to me and they're like, yo, my friend like showed me this music in the car ride over. I think that it was happening everywhere. Which is like super crazy. Like people would come up to me and they're like, oh yeah, my friend dragged me along for this. And like now I'm a fan. And I love that. I just need that to happen more widely. Like I need that to be more consistent. And unfortunately, 2025 is a barrier for entry that I think as a new listener, people are unwilling to do for very valid reason. So next tour around, I want to make it way more accessible. I want it to also be way more accessible to college students, given that we will realistically be doing some form of discount for if you bring your student ID with you. I want it to be just accessible, to be as accessible as possible. And I was on like the second concert. I was at Pittsburgh and I was like, holy fuck, like I understood what I should have done. Like I sat back and I like kind of low morale mentally where I was like, oh fuck, like I know what I should have done.
But now you know.
And I got to now I know. Next tour is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I forgot to say with the last question, but I think one thing that was fun with the tour this time for all the openers was you had them do like all the little like intro reels. So it's like, let's say I'm going to the show because I really like Tropes, and then I see Gunk is opening. I don't know who this is. Like now you kind of get familiar with them, at least just as a concept before you go to the show.
Yep.
Which I think was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, we I had ended up throwing all of that together. Like every video that you saw on there that was edited was edited right before I posted it. Like I think the thing is that Creation Story, when it came out, very like it came out within the last minute. Like we had distribution issues because we had posted it to distribution services like a day or two before it even hit. Like Creation Story wasn't done until it was like ready to be listened to. Like even then, like before we had did the concert in New Jersey at Chuck Salomon's house, we had worked on 2 bonus tracks that hit the CD exclusively, but we did that right before we had ended up leaving. We worked on the 2 bonus tracks, got in the car, and immediately went. So a lot of the tour and stuff and a lot of the marketing was being posted as it was happening. And I know the second time around, there's things that I want to be able to do. I want to be able to secure a sponsor. I want to be able to do more planned out, more thorough marketing. And it worked for this time around. Again, I don't need this to be the tour. I need it to be like the first tour, which is fine. And that's what it served to do. And it was successful. And I didn't come back from this feeling like it was a loss, even if it didn't turn as profitable as I was originally projecting, which is totally fine because, you know, things start somewhere. But this next time around, I really want like I feel like the honey here when it comes to marketing and shit gets richer with time and being able to sit down. And I'm very glad that I was able to do the countdowns where people got more antiquated with the opening acts. I thought that was a really, really smart decision upon Yamamaya because they were one of the people who had originally pitched me that idea. And I'd bounced that idea back and forth between me and them, and they were like, yes, that's good. But next time around, it will be more thorough. It'll be more thorough.
Mm-hmm.
Next time around, too, I think we will also be bringing a videographer with us. I want these sets to be documented because again, even having these sets public just leads some more intrigue on. Oh my god, I'm going to be there next time. I know at some point I will be doing some form of Canada tour in collaboration with Enzo from YouTube 10p3. I know in general I will be doing something in the UK, not a part of a tour, but as something entirely separate. I know that Yamamaya has been trying to organize something with some Japanese artists for a while. Yamamaya is bilingual, and they speak Japanese, and there is another Brazilian artist who I wouldn't say yet because I haven't been able to confirm with them, but in a perfect world, I would love to do Brazil at some point with them in collaboration for an event. But things are moving. I have to make sure that things keep moving, and people being more antiquated with the openers leads to people being more excited for these sort of things. People being more excited going forward, and especially for smaller acts like ZJ, for example, something like that. And I really should have done a countdown reel for Richmond. Not that I think that not having that played into like a lower attendance, but I do want people to really check out the smaller artists that are along with us on the tour who are like, no, they really kick shit. Like they're really cool. Like they are amazing artists. Whatever I can do to incentivize people to come out. Like every time someone comes out and they pay for merch or they put money into the door tickets, all this does is go back to the artist. Like all this does is fund your favorite acts to continue going and to continue touring.
Yeah, I don't know if they did anything for the shows that my friends are doing, but like for the ones that my friends did the last 2 years, like 3 weeks leading up to the show, I did an interview with the artist that's performing at the show like each week to get people like more like antiquated with the person that they like didn't know. Like I don't know if that had any impact like whatsoever, but it's just like this person is like part of like this thing, and now you can learn with them like if you want to. And I know last year someone told me they had like watched one of the interviews like on the way to the show or something. So like clearly it like does something.
Yeah, I definitely think it does. And I've definitely made this tour way more about the business side of music. Like I wish I had more to say in recent about the actual creation side of this. But yeah, I think it Yamamaya once said that like as an artist, what you're trying to do is fill out your own iceberg. And that is such ridiculously good advice that I've been living by that. I'm like, I need to build a world around Azul, around Baby Azul, and really make this be something that someone could grab into and like really lose themselves within. So yeah, I guess that's the motto that I'm rolling by is just creating my own iceberg. And unfortunately, we're in the touring arc, so I'm really ready to like sit here and just fucking talk business and instructions all day. But I have cool things that are coming out. I have solo music that is coming out. I really want to build within the time between now and the next tour. I really want to build up my solo discography. There is a project that at some point I will be announcing that is solo work. I want to be able to give people more. I want to be able to also make solo music that, to me at least, doesn't feel like me throwing things against the wall. I want to be able to throw things against the wall and then refine, come back, refine, come back, refine. And Creation Story, Yamamaya, and everyone who has been a peer to me has really, really helped me within that process of being able to get more antiquated with doing that consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really exciting. Also, when you brought up like people like recording the sets and stuff, you know Gloss, right?
Yes.
Dude, when I saw that they were at the show, like afterwards, because like I've been watching their stuff for like years. Like I've seen like Fiona's where like through them and stuff. So seeing myself in the Gloss footage was so like surreal. Like for that.
Yeah. No, much love to anyone who came out and who recorded. Like for all y'all do is like build to like this touring mythos, and it's going to continue to get bigger. You know, in a perfect world, what would happen is that if you remember, I mean, you just brought up Fiona's World. In a perfect world, things would be profitable enough to where I could essentially do a touring version of Fiona's World.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is the end goal, is to be able to do Fiona's World and replicate it like 20 times over the course of like a month and a half, like 2 months. Like that is my end goal. And right now I'm in the process of building that. And maybe not something as widespread as Fiona's World, where it is like, you know, like fucking 20 different artists. But being able to bring around like a variety show with people within the scene that is cohesive, that like people remember, and like they take videos and they take pictures and they're like, oh my god, I met this artist who I've been listening to since I was like this big, like, which I experienced a lot bringing Saturn along. And I know Saturn was talking to me about how surreal it felt to have people come up to them and be like, I was listening to you since I was like this big. And I love that. I love that for people. I love that for people, because I remember listening to people when I was like this big, and that's a really beautiful feeling to have people be like, to make those connections, to have people like meet their heroes mentally, and I want to be able to do that, because I do think that this scene ended up playing at a time that was just like really pivotal for people, you know, like with the pandemic and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen people pour their fucking hearts out to Quinn, and you know, some people might view that as like some aura loss shit, but I'm like, you know what, that's real. You know, that's real. And you know, Quinn appreciates that. The rare times in which has happened for me, I've appreciated it too, because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm making my music like here. Like, I make music here, and then I fall asleep right there in that corner too, because the wall's cold. Like, you know, so for this to mean anything to anyone is fucking humongous. Like, I actually can't rationalize it mentally. It's hard to quantify.
Yeah, does it ever feel like almost like fake to you sometimes when it's all like in your room? I guess like doing all your music stuff for years and years and years, and how to not really translate into like an IRL space a lot of the time. Where like, you know, you're putting all this into it, and you know stuff is happening, because it's all online. It doesn't like feel like it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it does kind of feel dreamlike. You know, you never fully understand how much of an impact you're making upon other people until they tell you. Because I'm not a mind reader. I mean, I there's a lot of concerts that I walked through, and like I'm busy doing this. I'm busy coordinating this stuff, and I'm walking past people, and they come up to me after the concert. They're like, "Yo, you're such a big inspiration." I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Like, I've walked past you like 25 times. Like, I bumped into you. Like, now I feel shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is dreamlike, because it's hard to imagine like what you've done for other people. Like, even from like a you perspective, like you don't know how many people are actually viewing and internalizing your interviews.
Yeah, I got recognized like twice, like at the Creation Story. So like, while I was in line, I was like, what?
Yeah, you know, you become something for someone. Like you and your art ends up taking residency in people's minds, and you have to respect that. You have to like understand that too, in the fact of like you could horribly abuse that level of power, and it is power. I used to not understand that when I was younger. I used to not understand why people get angry at artists for this abuse of power, but like, you exist within people's minds. Like, you know, I there are some people whose mind I exist within, which is ridiculous to me, because I feel like I'm just striving to exist with in general. So to matter to other people is very, very weird, very weird. It's very dreamlike. Yeah. I guess dreamlike is the right word.
Again, I think doing these shows has made it feel all the more like real, because you see like these are real people that are showing out with their time to go to your thing that you like set up. And even if they're not there like for you per se, because they could have been a fan of the other artists, it's still your event that you're putting on that people are seeing your stuff through like, indirectly.
Yeah, I mean, I've had times where I was like, damn, the crowd didn't really pop out for me, or like, the crowd wasn't doing whatever, but so many other people that the artists that I brought on with enjoyed their time that I was like, you know what, fuck it. I enjoyed that concert because y'all came away from that and y'all were like, I had an amazing night. This was super dope. And there's no like I would nothing out of bringing some bad vibes about a concert to the group. Especially I'm like, I will deal with it. If a crowd wasn't particularly rocking with my stuff in comparison to the other people's, it was a successful concert for them. I can take that emotionally. I can take that mentally. That is fine. I can't tell other people to not feel a certain way about something. I can definitely tell myself to not. But like if this artist or that artist comes back and be like, that was a killer ass time. Like that's all I can hope for as someone who's organizing a show.
Yeah. So I was mentioning Gunk earlier, and he was actually the previous person that I interviewed on here, which isn't out at the time when they're recording this, but in each interview, I don't know if you know this, but I have a segment where I play rock, paper, scissors with the guests that I have on. Okay. And currently, I'm on a 2-person losing streak, which is really bad. So I'm trying to reclaim my honor right now. So I was wondering if you want to play.
Okay, let's see if you
rock,
win.
paper, scissors.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of
okay.
Of course.
It's best 2 out of 3, and then we gotta close your eyes. There's a delay with the camera.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So tell me one.
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ooh.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh,
good shit.
I'm back.
You're back.
See, I got worried because like before this losing streak that I had, I was on a 5-person winning streak, which was my longest ever. So like I was worried it was gonna like swing in the other direction, like right after.
No, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I will say though, because like I have like a spreadsheet of like everyone's like performance, like marked. I think that would make you like one of the like all-time like worst rock paper scissors players. Like, because that was 1-2, that was it. There was no fight put up whatsoever. Like I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I think Departed also like lost his when I did his, so like maybe that's like a creation story curse. I don't know.
Yeah. We're all bad at rock, paper, scissors.
I guess so. Oh, the Gunk
one. If you played me in stick, it would be different.
Oh, I'm so bad at sticks. I always lose. Like, I always think like, if I'm not the first person that goes, maybe, but like, it doesn't change anything. I
used to run people's shit bad in this game. These two were like guns. I can't
wrap my head around it.
I will take my rock, paper, scissors L very gracefully. I'm very glad. Hopefully it goes back and you 6. You're on a 6.
I don't know, because I was getting to 4 a lot, and then I get blocked by someone. Like I beat Ellen, so that was my 5th. So
okay,
yeah, I think we should shake on it though. There we go.
Hey.
Okay.
Nice.
Moving on though. So. Well, not something that you could have ever planned or expected. Last year, you had a big moment when a hack Steve Lacy on SoundCloud decided to tell you to stick to the beats on your song Oddly, which in turn only gave the song more attention, making it your most streamed solo song to date on both SoundCloud and Spotify. And similar to that song's title, life, like the situation, can be very odd and often goes in strange ways. So, what are things that have happened to you that were just like unexpected or like, did not go as planned initially?
Okay, so I want to cover that me and Steve Lacy are forbidden lovers. But getting a bomb threat called in on us in Toronto was very unexpected. What else has been unexpected? Over the course of making music, there are people who I originally assumed that me and this person would have played into a duo act, and I find myself playing duos with a good amount of people, and that's not an issue. I always love the collaboration, but it's been unexpected to go from being seen as intrinsically tied to someone and then being cut, and then it's like I'm solo, and then it's like, okay, we're back doing something as a group. I'm solo, going back and doing something as a group. And that's why I like PZ so much in general, is because like I actually talk to Miami like every day. I talk to Tropes pretty much every day. I don't talk to Mental or Saturn every day, but like that it's ramp like the amount that we talk is ramping up. Like these are
Mm-hmm.
people who like these are people who like I can stake real trust in, and I deeply appreciate it. It's just fun. You know, the fact that my music is even popular in the first place is super unexpected. Like, you know, I guess everyone is their worst critique. Or the worst critique, holy fuck, or their worst critic. But like, you know, I go into situations, social situations, that I feel relatively awkward. I feel kind of out of place. So like, and I've lived in that mode for a while. So for things to be just like turning positive very consistently, I'm not particularly accustomed to that. And it's been a blessing. It genuinely has been a blessing. Being here and being in the positions that like fate has allowed me to be in. Whether it comes to like platonic stuff with like, well, I guess, yeah, whether it comes to like artist stuff in just making sure that all my artist relationships are good, or being able to just like see my IRLs outside of this. Getting more seriously into music, I don't know why, but it somehow like made me closer to my IRLs. I think that like I had periods of just dipping out, not
Mm-hmm.
dipping out of people's lives, but just like where I would get busy. And I think that music has kind of actually served as a crutch for me to be able to go to my friends and be like, hey, my bad, I was like working on this, and they understand it and they get it. But yeah, a lot of things have been unexpected. I mean, the fact that this is even successful is just fucking unexpected, and I appreciate it all.
Yeah, I always feel so fortunate that we're both like part of this like greater like thing, because I feel like so many
Yeah,
artists like that try to promote themselves exist in like a bubble where they're not like part of a scene or anything, and there's like a proper like very well established like community that we're both like in. So I'm always
yeah,
like so grateful for that.
definitely, definitely.
And do you want to talk about like the Steve Lacy thing at all?
Okay, so Steve Lacy, he did it. Don't let Steve Lacy fool you. It was never a hack SoundCloud account. Steve Lacy called me and he was like, "Hey, fuck you, guy," and I was like, "Hey, fuck you, Steve Lacy." He's like, "I'm gonna comment on Oddly, your recent song," and I'm like, "You better not." And he was like, "I'm gonna do it," and I'm like, "You better not," and then he does it. Um, Nah, so I'm in Discord call. Someone hops in, they're like, "Why is Steve Lacy commenting on your shit?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I go and look, and lo and behold, it's the Steve Lacy shit. And I need you to understand that that night sucked dick. Like I had just seen the Joker 2, and I was hyped for that. I came back and that movie sucked ass. That movie's fucking horrible. And I ended up getting into an argument with some guy outside of the Joker movie. I was in there, and like we were making fun of the movie. Everyone was being pretty loud, and some guy had came up to me. He was like, he was with his girl. He was like, I get that, like, you didn't enjoy the movie, but you have to be an asshole, right? And I'm not gonna lie, PZ people, we get on each other's heads crazy. Like we roast each other a lot. And at that point, I said, I don't even know what prompted it, but I said my catchphrase to this guy. I was like, oh, I said, my dick nigga, shut up. Um, and he like looked at me, and then the two other people that I was with got his girl and just went into his car. And he was like, "You guys have a good night." I was like, "Okay." So I wasn't having a good night, fucking, and I come back to the spot. I see that Steve Lacy shit. So I immediately am like, "Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna like make a post about this." And it just gained numbers and numbers and numbers and numbers. I was like, "What the fuck?" Um, and whoever hacked that account has been hacking other accounts too. Because I have DMs from the Drain Gang account, like that essentially are like the exact same thing, like the Drain Gang SoundCloud. And I decided not to post those because I was like, you know what, if I start posting like different hacked accounts interacting with me, people are going to think that I'm the one who hacked these accounts.
Yeah.
And the evil people that run UMG probably be very privy to like Omni Man throwing me through a mountain if they thought I was hacking fucking SoundCloud accounts. But that is the me and Steve Lacy's lover quarrel.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny too because whoever hacked that account, they followed a bunch of like random accounts afterwards. Like they were following like Blade and like
Yeah,
some like really like niche artists on the Steve Lacy account, and it was up there for like a few months. I think I checked now and it's
yeah,
gone. But like the fact that it was just up there, If someone didn't know, they're like, "Wow,
Dude,
Steve Lacy's tapped
you
in."
used to be able. You used to be able to just like fucking hack SoundCloud accounts. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the TK SoundCloud account, but it was hacked by this guy named Wally the Great, WALIDA Great, and his music, like, that is my homework for anyone who's watching this. Look up Wally the Great on SoundCloud. Unbelievable music. Some of the most beautiful compositions I've heard in my entire life is a song called "I Heard She a Freak." That has been a PZ national anthem for as long as I've known Heartside Miami and Tropes. That song is so fucking funny. You used to just be able to hack SoundCloud, shouldn't get away with it. I think now SoundCloud has implemented 2FA. I think people have been asking for like 3 trillion years, and now they just implemented it. So I don't think we're going to be seeing as many hacked SoundClouds or like more situations like that. But very, very interesting. It was a very funny time for me.
Yeah. I think for me, something that went unexpected, which was at the show actually, was I had brought this camera on the trip with me, right? That I've been doing these like pre-show interviews with for like my friend's show. I was like, well, I'll just use that same camera for the ones I'm doing at Creation Story. I do the bag check, I get into the venue, and then when it was time to do Yours and Yamamaya's, I go in my bag, and the camera bag is just like not in there.
No.
And I'm thinking like, so first I started checking around the venue. I was like, did the guy maybe like take it out at the door? So I went and asked him. He was like, no, not here. Also, don't leave the venue because you can't go back in. I was like, my bad, dude. So then I turn around. I looked at my bag like 5 more times, even though like nothing was going to change. And eventually I realized where I was like, I was hoping this was the case, and it was, thankfully. But like back at my Airbnb, I had like taken out a water bottle that was like under the camera bag and just like taken it out when I did it. I just forgot about it. But I was freaking out for a good like hour when that happened. So that was an unexpected thing for me, but thankfully panned out.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, because that's why my friend Carter was filming, because it was supposed to be someone else initially. But we couldn't use my camera, so we just used Carter's for it. So I got lucky with that.
Hey, good shit.
Yeah. Going back to the scene, because we were talking about it a little earlier. I think the underground scene, and when I say underground, I mean like the real underground, like not the explore page underground. I feel like those are two like very different things.
Oh my God, are they different?
Yeah. But I think that's one of the most beautiful things about music, because you really get to see artists when they're like at their most like authentic, I would say, and often the most like innovative as well. And considering that you've been part of the scene for the better part of like half a decade at this point, I'm sure that you've seen like a lot of sounds, trends, even artists like come and go over the years. So what do you love most about the scene? And what are some of your favorite like eras, or I guess just like moments, like being part of it?
My favorite thing about the scene is that like the friendships I've made with it are like, these are people who like I'm probably going to like meet their kids, or like everyone kind of looks for a social sense of belonging, even if it's on an incredibly small scale. And this scene has offered a genuine and real friendship that, for someone who lives as rural as I do, is very hard to attain. So I have just appreciated the sense of community and belonging, and the fact that like it's a community that is striving for things, because no artist wants to like, if we're going to be honest, no artist wants to play second fiddle, like you know, even if it is friendly competition or that it goes under the surface, everyone is striving to be the best in the room. And granted, there probably are parts of the scene that I'm not friends with, that you know, they take the competition beehive shit very, very literal, and they do get into like more friend quarrels and shit. But you know, being in a room with a ton of people who like are all striving to do their best and put out their best work, like it is incredibly inspiring. Like it is a good vibe. It is very good. What I don't like about the scene is I really hate trend hopping. I hate that. I hate the idea of trend hopping. I think that more novel acts within the scene have contributed a lot to trend hopping, and either they have stuck to a trend that has been shown to be profitable, or they fall to the wayside. I think, unfortunately, too, that the scene in its earlier days attracted a lot of kids from certain communities that were incredibly toxic, or just were people that you just want to have around. And I think that with time, either these kids have cooled off or have gone to such niche, specialized spaces for where you can be shitty, that they don't really permeate the scene nearly as much anymore, or they've been called out a trillion times, and they're just going to continue to make music because why not?
Mm-hmm.
But that sense of belonging, while beneficial, kind of attracts bad actors because they're like, like I can just join this community, I can just act kind of shitty and just get away with it and keep it moving. But I think that within the modern day is a lot more rare, which I appreciate.
Yeah. And any favorite, like, I guess just like times to be part of like the scene that you can think of, like big moments from it?
So I'm not gonna lie, I really am like, if we're gonna talk about the scene, I missed like the golden era. I didn't get really involved until like November of 22. So by the time I was around, like all of the eras that people really remember, like all the big songs coming out, like by the time I had by the time I had joined, all the really massive Quinn stuff from the very beginning was already out. The Saturn stuff was already out. The funeral stuff was already out. These things had already sat on the market for a while, and they already had a ton of artists who was super prominent at one spot, and then it fell off, or like were trying to regain motion, or didn't care about regaining motion, just moved on to something else within life. So by the time I joined, I think I was already past the golden age, whatever. But if we're going to talk about a time that I really look fond of, there was a time where I was very depressed, and thankfully I'm not within that mindset anymore. But I was running a collective called Valley Saints that existed maybe for about 3 or 4 months, and I had such a good time collaborating with friends. During that time, I think I was so privy to collabing that I might have actually pushed some people away during that era where I was just like, let's work, let's work, let's work, let's work. But for what it was for the time, I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I had an amazing time. I can be doing anything with friends and still feel like it's fulfilling. Like we can be watching paint dry, but if it's me and another person, then that's all that matters for me. So the best times I've had in the scene, and I feel like we're coming onto this real like second coming of Valley Saints, not in Valley Saints, but like in general vibe for me with PZ. That I'm just having a really fun time just doing fucking everything with my friends. It's such an amazing time. I love these people so much more than I could ever state within words. Like words don't describe how much love I have for the people I was on tour with, the openers, the people who had came out. Like it means so much for me that's hard to quantify.
Mm-hmm. I feel like relationships like that are also so special because I feel like when it comes from like online or just like music stuff, like you're coming together because of like your passions and not like, oh, we went to the same school, that's why I know you. So I feel like it's like a lot closer in a certain way, like because of that.
You choose to be around the people that you want to be around. It's not like a with school you don't kind of like, you have a pool of options to choose from, and I guess online you do too. But like online, I could join like a Lord forbid, but I could join an Overwatch like Discord and probably find like a completely new group of friends. Like it's the fact that you kind of are choosing your family like within this music stuff that I think it is particularly beautiful when you do get collaborations like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just so special. And maybe like, I guess like within the scene, are the people that you want to work with that you haven't yet?
So many people. I want to work with so many people. With so many people. I want to you're probably going to that's probably leading into asking who. So I might as well. I want to work with Giant Claw. I know that they're not in the scene. I want to work with Kuru so bad. I want to work with Quinn so bad. I want to
You
work
produced the
with
song for
Javi.
like that Quinn was featured on, right?
Yes, I did for Yamamaya's
Yeah.
page. But Quinn is busy a lot, and I thank the Lord that she was even willing to do this concert. I know that concert really meant a lot for her, but like there's kind of like holy grail placements that I have in my mind, and Kuru, Quinn, Blixty, Mental, fuck, like I don't remember it right now, but so many people, Zootsie, Doxia. Like there's people who I want to work with bad.
Yeah, I know you said Xavier in your last interview also.
Yes. Do I feel the same way about Xavier? Absolutely. And do I think that it will happen at this point? Probably not. No. That's why I'm like that's why I haven't mentioned Xavier recently, is because I think that dream is kind of dead.
Mhm.
I think that dream is kind of dead.
Yeah, he's just so far removed from like
that.
everything now that like
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, and that's not like a he's gone Hollywood, whatever. It's that like his group is cemented. Like
yeah.
his group exists and has been existing, and I think being a new player and getting into that, especially someone from like our scene, probably not, probably not. I'm not holding my breath for it. If it does happen someday, it is because I got incredibly lucky and was in the right place at the right time. But that would be cool. You know, if we're gonna do stuff like that, then yes, Xavier, Tisa Korean is a big one. Lil B, fuck, who else? I want to bring Clams Casino out of retirement so fucking bad. I want to work with Blake Banshee. Like those are some people.
Mm-hmm.
Galen Tipton, Diana Starshine. I'm going to butcher this name. Hokushi Hasagawa. Let's hope I said that correctly. Would kill to work with.
Yeah, I think it's so crazy with Xavier in hindsight too, because like I was watching that back because I didn't know about Xavier until like early 2023, I think, and seeing y'all talk about him when there was like nothing happening at that point. Like 1C was so like crazy just in hindsight to like see that.
Yeah. Well, Dollmaker has always lived in New York, so like her ear has always been to the pulse. So I was really just like, you know, wherever they were, I was plus oneing for these crazy ass artists, and I deeply appreciate her for putting me within those scenarios where I could be privileged enough to see those things. But yeah, you know, the me producing for Xavier Dream, I think is I think that book is coming to a close. But there's other things I want to do. There's other things I want to do.
For sure. And I was looking into the future actually, because I think after coming off of Creation Story, the album, and the full tour, I think it's safe to say they're easily like the height of your career right now. So I'm very excited to see what you do from here. So what's next for Baby Azul?
What's next? Buckling down and making a project, making a project, putting out more solo music. I need to build my solo discography. Unfortunately, just a lot of my music right now has features, and that's not unfortunate. I'm very glad about the discography that I do currently have. I need to have more.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have a lot to work with, and I want to make a project that really is flexing my muscles. I'm a big fan of concept albums. I think I will realistically have a very hard time putting out something that is a solo piece of work that isn't to some degree either a very very light concept album or like fully a concept album. But putting out a project, putting out solos, putting out things that have more time dedicated into it, putting out longer tracks, rapping without autotune, rapping with autotune, more displaying my voice as singing. Not ever I'm going to do like a major singing pivot, but there's stuff like working where I do feel like I display more singing chops than I have on the majority of my personal discog. So you know that's coming up. Just giving people more Baby Azul music. That's what's coming up, and it's coming very soon. After I cool off from this whole tour stuff, I'm right back to it. I'm hitting the books hard.
Yeah, I think it's also like I feel like you have more of like an artist like identity now, I guess, as a rapper.
Yeah.
Because you have this whole project under your belt, which is like a very specific like thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what you do from here.
Thank you so much.
And as the episode comes to a close, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, shout out to you. Shout out to Hidden Driveway.
Thank you.
Shout out to Yamamaya. Shout out to Zenny. Shout out to Sun Sculptor. Shout out to Oka. Shout out to Mental. Shout out to Boa, Selassie, Dorian, A Take. Shout out to A Take. Shout out to Nick, New York Nick, that being. Rob, shout out to John, my old roommate. Shout out to JC, my old roommate. Shout out to Carmelo, my old roommate. Shout out to fucking everyone. Thank you so much. If you made it to this part of the interview, thank you so much for being here and listening to me fucking ramble on and waste time. But yeah, thank you for having me. Seriously.
Well, thank you, because shout out all those people, and also shout out Baby Azul. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
It was very cool because again, I told you I watched the Virus interview 3 years ago. So the fact that I got to do like your next one, that's super cool to me. All of his links will be in the description down below. So if you're at the end of the video and you're not tapped in with it for some reason, what are y'all doing, guys? Come on, go do that.
Come on.
I'll also have 3 of my favorite BBYAZUL'S songs in the playlists that are on Spotify and SoundCloud for Hidden Driveway. So if you want like a quick little like intro to what he does, that'll be there too. But yeah, this is definitely like a favorite interview that I've done, I think. Especially because like I've been so curious about the tour stuff. Because like me and my friends have been talking about like, this is like all like hypothetical, but just like how that would even work. And I feel like because of like what you just said, like we have like a framework now, like idea of like how it could like play out. So
yeah,
that's super cool.
It's super able to do like this is like hypocritical because my first thing I booked ever was a tour, but doing one like $5 ticket concert and just scaling it up from there, like it's super probable. If anyone ever wants to hit me about touring advice, my DMs are open. I would love to give out whatever information I can, and yeah, I don't know. Just again, thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to say? Because I think that's like everything for me.
Okay, so smoked paprika is one of the best seasonings ever. It's really, really good. Number two, so there is a difference between mushroom and heirloom popcorn. The popcorn that you get in a movie theater is mushroom popcorn. Heirloom popcorn is if you've ever seen the corn that's multicolored, it's better, it's smaller, has better crunch, it tastes significantly better. Perfect. Number three, colognes. Most colognes are incredibly overrated. Dior Sauvage is ass. BR 550 is ass. Houses that I would say yes to. Filippo Scorsanelli, absolutely. Zoologist can be okay. Let me look back real quick.
Oh, you have a whole stash. I see it now. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. I never noticed that.
Recommendations. Okay, if you want to smell like me, Red Tobacco by Mancera, Jazz Club by Mason Margiela, Leighton by Parfums de Marly, Mississippi Medicine by DS and Durga, and what else do I wear? Rasasi Hawass, but I haven't been wearing that as often. And let me think of one more bullshit thing to say. If you want to learn coding, learning out of a textbook is fucking horrible. Don't do that shit. Just don't. If you want to learn coding, don't. Actually, don't. Save yourself. Get go into business.
I can vouch. I took comp sci in high school for 3 years, and by the end of it, I had like forgot like everything I learned from the start. I was also taking it during COVID too, so that didn't help. But like I lost like everything I picked up from it.
Learn Latin, like before you learn coding.
Are those your statements? Have you said your piece?
Those are my statements. Yeah, I would talk about manga recommendations, but we will be here for a very long time. So that is my piece. That is everything that the people get for today.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm Amu. It's been the Hidden Driveway Show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.